Hello there friends, I hope that you're doing well. So this is the Razer DeathAdder 2021 version. This is the DeathAdder Essential. So this is the most basic DeathAdder model. Right now Razer is selling a few models like V2, Elite, Essential, and I guess there is another one but I can't remember the name. This is the most basic one with just 5 buttons: left, right click, scroll click, and these buttons on the side. This is the box. The mouse comes in this bag, and in the box we have a big sticker, Razer sticker. We have this thing to put the jack in, and we have a manual. Pretty basic, this cardboard thing, and that's all. This is pretty much everything we get. Now for comparison, just gonna show you the Razer Naga 2013 version. This is a very old mouse from 8 years ago, with a similar shape, at least here on the front. And for comparison, this is the box for the Naga, so much bigger and a lot of stuff in it. Anyway, this was much more expensive. The idea is that the guys from Razer said that they want to make bio-friendly packages, so probably it's a good idea to make a smaller box. Okay, about the mouse, as I said, this is the cheapest mouse from Razer. It's using the same old layout as the initial Razer DeathAdder. So this is a palm grip mouse, meaning that you can't really use claw grip. It's a big mouse, even compared to the Razer Naga. You can see that the size is different, and it's not a big difference, but as you can see, something like this, and this part will actually make a really big difference. If you have small hands, stay away from this mouse because it's not for you and it will be very uncomfortable. Now let's make some test sounds. You can see the low quality on the Razer DeathAdder compared to the Naga. So this one is much better. Actually this one is new, but even so it feels like much harder to slide compared to the, and it feels like it's touching like plastic. It feels like it has that plastic sound compared to this one. This has a much more satisfying sound, and also compared to this one. However, this mouse has been used for years and years. I currently don't use it, I just keep it for nostalgia, but this one as a new mouse doesn't sound great. But as I said, the price is just uncomparable. This one I bought it for about $25, and this one costed about I think it was about $100, so the price is uncomparable. Even though The Naga was one of the most expensive mouses back then in 2013. I bought it back then just to play World of Warcraft because of the side buttons. Going back to the DeathAdder, I have to say that except the price, I can't find anything good about this mouse. So I would not recommend it to buy it. If you plan to buy this mouse, just buy something more expensive also from Razer. I would say that you can go for the DeathAdder V2, which is smaller and it's using much better quality materials. If you can't buy if you don't want to buy the DeathAdder, you can probably go for the Razer Naga or Basilisk or I don't know, whatever Razer is making these days. I'm not so familiar with their products. Probably they're also selling those mouses called Viper, which are the newest ones. Very light, and they have an ambidextrous design. Probably they are the best option right now because I think they are selling one model for about 35 to 40 bucks, so it's not a big difference in price, but that one it's much better and it has more buttons. Now this mouse, as I said, has only 5 buttons, and I have to say that it's not enough. On all my Razer mouses, including this one, I always use this button here behind the scroll wheel for scroll click. So instead of doing scroll click like this, which is much more harder, I always use this button here just to scroll click, and it was very convenient. Now on the DeathAdder Essential we don't have that mouse. Of course, I've tried to keybind the scroll click on this button, but it's not comfortable. After a while you can get used, but it's not the same as clicking like this to clicking like this on the side. And as you can see, this you barely touch this one, and it's very easy to press compared to this one, which is also making this loud click noise. Now I use 2 keybinds which help me quite a lot. I use delete and Control S. Control S is to save and delete to just delete the file. So instead of going on the keyboard and clicking on delete, I like to keybind delete on my mouse buttons. We can do that from Razer Synapse. Since we have only 2 extra buttons, so we have one for, as I said, for scroll click, and one I can use either for delete or Control S. But you can't assign 2 keybinds on one button, so I can either pick delete or Control S. So the buttons are just not enough. If they would have added one more button, as this one on the top here, it would have been enough for me, but only these side buttons are just not enough. And they're also very annoying to press. Also the next button is just hard to reach. Usually you keep your hand like this. If you want to press this one, you need to reach it and you need to move your hand, which is really annoying in my opinion. The one from the back, you can just press it without moving too much, but this one you can't really move the finger like this. It will be really uncomfortable. Anyway, so I have the mouse connected to the computer. Anyway, what other aspects that I don't like is the scroll quality. As you can see, when you you move it like this, you barely press it, it makes this sound, compared to this one, which is completely stable. So this one doesn't move at all, it feels very stiff. Look how much sound this one makes. Other thing to consider is the shape of the clicking area. I always liked this shape for the fingers, because the fingers just come naturally here, and you can just pretty much rest your hand on the clicks. However, for the DeathAdder, it's not the same. Comparing the two mouses, this one, the plastic feels very comfortable, compared to this one, which feels like a cheap plastic. But as I said, the price is completely different. But this is the first mouse from Razer that I'm using, and I don't find the materials comfortable. Many years ago I bought Razer Viper, which was also one of the cheapest mouses from Razer, and that one was extremely comfortable to keep your hand on. The materials were amazing. Sadly, it got broken after a year and I had to get rid of it. But comparing these two mouses, the Razer Viper, the old one, and this one, the materials are just extremely cheap, and this doesn't feel like the Razer a Razer product. Usually Razer is only making high quality products. This one is also much lighter compared to the old Naga, and it gives the feeling that this feels like a very cheap product. They could have added at least more weight. I mean, the mouse size is very big and it is very light, which I mean, it's just too light for this size. And so yeah, this is another negative aspect, the weight. I would have added more weight to it. Now about the lights, we have lights on the Razer logo and the scroll wheel. However, this mouse doesn't have the Chroma option, so we cannot select other colors. We can only use this green one. We need to use Razer Synapse 3.0 to just be able to configure the lights, the DPI, the performance, and the keybinds. To be honest, I never liked the green color, the green light. I always liked the old blue lights from Razer. If you don't know, Razer many years ago was using blue colors instead of these green ones that you can find pretty much on all of their products, and that one was more pleasant to the eye. I always just turn off every lights anyway, so this is not an important aspect for me, but it can be considered. If you want to change colors, you cannot do that with this mouse. Now the cable is braided just like the old one, even though this one feels much more stiff, much more high quality. This one feels much soft, so probably it's a lower quality than the old Naga. Let's do a click test to see how the click sound. This on the DeathAdder sounds very cheap and very loud. It sounds like just a regular cheap mouse. And let's see on the old Naga. And the right click doesn't really work on this one, it doesn't hold, but it's still, I think it sounds much better. The sound is just more satisfying. This is just too loud on the DeathAdder. And the problem is that you can't really use claw grip like this. I mean, you can use it, but this mouse is not made for claw grip. This is made for palm grip. Compared to the Naga, where you can use claw grip very easily. This position comes naturally and much more easier to use. Now I have another Razer mouse. It's Razer Naga V2. That one is like a completely different story. It's a great mouse, but it doesn't have this shape on the clicks here. So it's completely straight, and really it has some really rough edges. So I thought I could just buy this one and just use it for gaming, because it doesn't have too many buttons, but the position is just not comfortable. The size is just too big for me. So let's make a conclusion. In my opinion, this Razer DeathAdder Essential 2021 version is not worth it all, even though the price is very low for a Razer mouse. It doesn't have colors. If it's important for you, it just has this basic green color. The materials are very cheap. The clicks are very loud. It slides very difficult, and it just feels wrong. Something is wrong compared to this one. So also the scroll is just has a bit of play here, even though this mouse is brand new. And the most important thing is the size. If you have small hands, definitely you should stay away from this mouse, and you should get something much more smaller. Probably the Razer V2 Mini or Razer DeathAdder Mini. They have that version as well. Or go for a more expensive mouse like the Razer Naga 2021, or the new Razer Viper, which I would recommend, because that one is also very light, but it's much smaller. If you have big hands, probably you should you could be comfortable with this mouse, but it's just not for me. The position is not comfortable, and I would not recommend overall this mouse, even though, as I said, that it's cheap. So the final conclusion is that this mouse is not worth the money. Probably if you want a Razer mouse, you should invest more money and get something else. So this was my review. It was a negative review. Usually I don't make negative reviews about Razer products, because I'm a big fan. I own a lot of products from Razer, but this one is just not fit for me, and the quality is just not there. I hope that you found this review useful. Leave in the comments if you have other opinions, or any comments you have. Please subscribe if you found the video useful, and thank you for watching.